on you
Facebook
tonight.
post down.
Had 2 blocks and really, controlled the game down in the fourth quarter defensively. A lot of times Denver Nuggets were driving into the lane. AD showed up, exit out. So he makes a big impact on the game.
We're going to get your thoughts when we come back. But first, let's go inside the Lakers locker room. LeBron is speaking with Mike.
I feel how he feels.
LeBron, Frank said that you set the tone before the game, just your kind of game face in the locker room. This was not a 1 foot out to the All-Star break type of mindset, and you went on the court and played that way. What was that mindset for you specifically, and how do you think that came out of the court for your team?
I'm just trying to be as laser sharp as I could, laser focused. Understanding that, I know the break was coming, but I didn't want to take this opportunity for granted. I wanted to play extremely well tonight for our ball club. I wanted us to play extremely well going into the break on a high note. And, our team, we responded very well.
You haven't had a ton of games lately with that kind of possession by possession, down the stretch things. What are you looking for there, and especially with AD in the two-man game and how you guys are able to get good shots?
That's it. We're just trying to get great shots. Trying not to play against a shot clock, which we did a couple times, but for the most part, we got really good shots. And when you're able to do that, you always keep the defense at bay. And for the most part, we was able to knock them down, even though it was a back-and-forth game throughout the whole game.
You could argue that AC and Dwight came in and kind of changed the tempo of the game, especially on defense. So what did you see from Caruso and Dwight, and how big was that?
You said it. I mean, changed the game from an offensive rebounding standpoint, just bullying, whoever was on him, being able to get to the free throw line, getting us into the bonus, getting us some dunks, giving us extra possessions, and then AC defensively was just so in tune, getting steals, getting stops, getting strips, and being a very ultra-aggressive on the offensive end. So those guys were unbelievable off the bench for us.
It's a night like this for AD, continuing his growth process. He has the block on Jokic. He has the threes. It's one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Do you see this as part of his progression this season?
I mean, every opportunity that we get to play in a close game versus a tough opponent, it's a learning experience for all of us. It prepares us, for a postseason game where it's going to be back and forth, back and forth. I thought tonight was a playoff atmosphere, both teams being number 1 and number 2 in the West Conference, jockeying for position. So, just trying to make plays, whatever it takes, on the offensive end, on the defensive end, and and AD was there, knocking down big threes, getting a block, getting some stops. I got the jump ball as well, just big time.
LeBron, with you being injured last year, does that make you, with not making the playoffs, do you feel more on a mission this year did that make you appreciate the game more, not playing last year and not being in the playoffs?
No, I don't need an injury to make me appreciate the game, but coming into this season, just very hungry, very enthused, very motivated on trying to put this team in position to be as successful as we can, and also at the end of the day, not ever skipping the process, and that's just my mindset.
You mentioned, does it make the victory going into the All-Star?
Well, I've been in locker rooms where you're trying to, catch the number 1 seed, and I can probably echo what Coach Malone's speech was those guys are 3 games ahead of us, and if we want to beat the number 1 seed, we got to beat them. They beat us on our home floor before, and let's go get this one. So I had that in my mind, understanding I know what they're thinking over there. I know the dialogue that's probably going over there, and saying they want to, try to get a great win versus us, going into the break. So, I just try to counterproduct that by, bringing that same intensity.
You've been on teams where, you guys have been the number 1 seed. You've been on teams where, you haven't chased that as hard. Is the number 1 seed a strong goal? You guys have been number 1 almost no matter what.
We don't talk about it. We really don't. We just play the game the right way. We don't talk about it. We see the standings. We know what it is, but we don't talk about it. We go out and say, hey, we're the number 1 seed. Let's play. No, we just go play our game. And if it happens, it happens.
You'll have a 6-week sprint after the break until the postseason. Big picture, what things have you guys done up to this point to make you feel, or what have you done to judge where you guys are at?
Well, we are where we need to be. And, we'll come back off the break and get ready for the final stretch of the regular season. But you don't put too much into it. You understand that you play some good basketball along the way. You play some not good basketball, but you want to continue to get better and continue to trust the process. So we look forward to it when we get back and get back on the floor and see how far we can continue to grow.
I know you don't talk about it amongst each other, but for you personally, how important do you think it is to have the number 1 seed?
We don't talk about it. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think every Western Conference team that will make the playoffs can win on someone else's floor. For us, we would love to play in front of our home fans as much as we can, with our Laker faithful. But, at the end of the day, you go out and play each and every game like it's his own game, and you can't worry about what can happen the following day. You can only live in the present. So, like we did tonight.
Having a key role in the All-Star game is a big. It's been part of your career for a long time. Do you find any ways to find breaks, just mental, over these?
I try. I truly try, and I got a couple days now where I can try to get a little break mentally. So we see what happens. All-Star break is obviously for guys that not a part of the All-Star weekend, so I'm very excited about my teammates being able to get some rest, decompress, get away from the game, and come back fresh. And myself will be locked in for them no matter how much rest I can get. So it doesn't matter.
You have a long-standing partnership with University of Akron through your foundation, and today was announced that expanding that partnership for your kids to with Kent State.
Yep.
What can you tell us about how that came about?
How did it come about? Kent State loves what we're doing. We've always had a great relationship with Kent State and Akron U, and they love what we've been doing at the IPS, and we love the university as well. So it's always mutual when we're able to come together, something like that. So to be able to give free tuition to my inaugural kids it's crazy. That means I'm like free tuition for 4 years. So they get to decide if they want to get free tuition there or they want to go to Akron U. We have so many options, and I just know that so many kids in my community just don't have many options. So for me to be in a position where I can give these kids options to decide what they want to do with their future, it's probably the best thing I've ever done. Appreciate it.
LeBron picked up his 12th triple-double tonight, and so it led us to this nifty graphic. Now, has the fourth most all-time triple-doubles as a Laker. You look at the players, you got Magic, Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bean Bryant, in a season and a half.
They left off one player.
Who's that?
I got one.
Oh, you already know we're coming back in the next block with a new graphic.
But Al, you're absolutely right. LeBron is in good company, man. The way he controls the game and the way he controls the pace of the game, and still able to find his teammates when necessary. He's a phenomenal player. I mean, he's surpassing everything: free throws, assists, and scoring, and he's an amazing player.
Yeah, I think because he does everything so well, and like we always talk about, 35 years old, year 17, and all the stuff that he's accomplishing. Look, every night he's going to have a new milestone, so it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, the guy spent, $1 million on his body last season. What's he spending now, $2 million? I mean, he's 35 years young. He just keeps turning back the clock. An amazing, amazing way to finish the last game before the break.
Get big game on that graphic.
My picture up there, man.
Still to come. LeBron and Anthony Davis combined for 65 points in the
Flipped the game around after Denver went up by 13 to get you guys going in the other direction in the first half.
I think Dwight and Alex, really gave us a lift. Dwight with his matchup on the Joker, physicality with which he played, and Alex is our secret weapon. He comes in and he usually provides a spark off the bench, and I think those two guys were pivotal. But I think LeBron and AD's determination to win this game was extremely admirable, and was prevalent all throughout the game, including during that stretch.
Hey, you made that switch at halftime with Dwight. What did you think about doing with Caruso, and kind of when to put him in? As you said, he ends up plus 23, I think, for the evening.
Yeah, plus 23 in 22 minutes. We're doing some different things with the rotation, which means we just basically bring him in the second quarter, for Rondo, and in the fourth. And he played so well, in the first half that we thought about bringing him in early. But Doe was really good last game, so we gave him an opportunity. Came in, played well, but we knew we could come back to Alex in the fourth down the stretch. With a small lineup, we could go. When we slide AD to the 5, we can go a number of different ways. We can go Kuz there. We can put LeBron at the 4 and play Danny and Avery and KCP, or sometimes we put Alex in there. You know what I mean? And as we can go, he was really good in the first half, and great in the second half as well.
AD had some of those defensive plays in the fourth quarter, and then obviously the threes in overtime. How do you kind of feel like he handles some of those situations late and sort of adds to his toolbox or pulls more things out of the toolbox?
Yeah, well, I mean, you just said it. I mean, you answered your own question with the threes, the big threes. You know, he's making down at crunch time. It's tough to score, you know, on the road against a good defensive team at crunch time. And, you know, Bron's getting great penetration. We're attacking Joker at 5 fouls. And, you know, when they brought help, AD punished him with big threes, you know. And then obviously what he does on the defensive end is just he's a defensive player of the year, you know what I mean? So you can put him on anybody, he guards anybody, dominates anybody. And he was great down there on that end again tonight.
Is Caruso's role defined, or is there a possibility for it expanding as we head down the stretch?
Yeah, there's a possibility for it expanding. You know, right now he's my secret weapon. You know, I break him out when I need him. You know, he's certainly earned a rotational spot, and he's in the rotation. And you know, like I said, like when we need him to, you know, to grow into a bigger role, he delivers. So you know, we got a number of guys that guys just keep pushing each other. With great games. KCP plays well, so all of a sudden, you know, it's like, where do we find him extra minutes? And Avery starts making shots. Rondo was great the other night. You know, it's a different guy every night, and you know, it's a testament to our culture of guys pushing each other, pulling for each other, and you know, making my job hard.
When you talk about that determination that AD and LeBron had to win this game, are you seeing that in ways that we don't necessarily see just watching from afar?
Yeah, I think LeBron in the locker room had a game face before the game tonight. You know, you just tell he was really, really locked in. Not a, you know, foot out the door towards the break type of game. You know, that he was going to have a playoff mindset to it, and he showed that all throughout the game. You know, and AD does it with his play. You know, he just does it with just great determination. You know, again, the last game before the break, a lot of times, especially when you're on the road in a tough environment, you know, guys will try and compete, but you know, sometimes it's not the best effort. But those two guys were special.